Hi gang, Rob here. It is the afternoon of 14 September 2019. Coming to you with a knife review of all things. Inside the box you see in front of you is a knife we're going to take a look at today. As previously stated recently, I'm kind of only going to be doing reviews of knives I really like. There's a hint. Okay, so before I get to this knife, I'm going to have you look at the box while I read you this interesting email thread. A few weeks ago, I got an email from Michael Nin of Drop.com, formerly known as MassDrop. And he sent me this email. Hi there, my name is Michael and I'm with the content sponsorship team at Drop.com, formerly known as MassDrop. We're looking for high-quality blade / EDC related content creators to develop long-term partnerships, and your channel came up. We have a few knives available to make review content with. Please take a look at what we have to offer here. And then he provides a link to their page of upcoming drops. If any of them seem interesting to you, we can send one over to test and make a review video about. If the quality of the review is good enough, we'd be more than happy to expand the partnership and send you more of the blades we make. Lastly, I'd like to mention that if you end up not actually liking the blade after testing it, you'll have the option to send it back without making a video. For some background, Drop is home to a forum of over 100,000 active blade and community members. We often collaborate with community members such as Bob Terzola, Eric Ox, and Ferrum Forge to bring new designs to life. You can check out some of our existing blade reviews here. Links provided. Instagram link provided. If you're interested, please let me know and I can send more information. Signed, Michael, Content Sponsorship. So I actually didn't answer, and he sent me a follow-up email asking me if I read the first one. And then I was kind of chewing on this, to be honest, because those of you who are familiar with Drop know that a lot of what they produce are Chinese manufactured versions of custom knives for those stated makers. So this is the response that I sent him, and I was just hoping he would take this in the spirit in which it was intended. I wrote, "Hey there, Michael, thanks for reaching out. I would be happy to review any of your knives that have countries of origin other than China, PRC in parentheses, People's Republic of China, Taiwan not included. Here is my shipping information." And then I sent him my address. And then, sorry to be picky, but it's a long-standing policy of mine not to review Chinese-produced knives. All others are welcome. Thanks for thinking of me. Signed, Rob Bixby. And Michael wrote back, "Hey Rob, no worries about the limitations. I've just sent you the Mordax, which is 100% USA made." Provides a link. Let me know when you receive it. Okay, so that brings us to today. As you know, or you can glean from what I've just said, this is a knife that has been provided to me gratis by Drop. Okay, so I have been paid in the form of a knife, which as I read that I get to keep if I give it a positive review. Know that going in. If I don't like it, I cannot do a video and send it back to them. Did you hear that? That's what I heard. Okay. I have no problem with that. You may. I don't. I'm going to give this knife a review that I really think it deserves. So let's get right into it. Let me come in a little closer for you all with my focus. I've used manual focus for a while now because the autofocus on my camera kind of blows at close range. So here you go. And the reason I'm spending so much time having you look at the box is that those of you who own Protech products know their boxes kind of suck. They're very thin gauge, glossy cardboard, about the gauge of this sleeve actually. So good to see this Drop offering. Comes with a little nicer packaging. You have a sleeve. And then a magnetic clamshell box, asymmetrical. Lots of info about Protech knives. Made in the USA. Got a little warranty pamphlet. Inside the box comes a really nice pouch with a drawstring. Once you get inside that, you got your normal Protech stuff. A poly bag with a Protech sticker that I have very carefully removed once or twice before. Inside comes the knife. This is it. This is the drop Protech Ferrum Forge designed Mordax. What a piece of work, guys, I have to tell you. So definitely a Williamson design. You should recognize that handle shape. This is Protech's and Drop's version of the Ferrum Forge Mordax with some significant differences. We don't have a titanium frame lock. We don't have a steel lock bar insert. We don't have a Hoback rolling detent. What we have instead is something much more Protech familiar. We have a hard black anodized aluminum handle, T6061 aluminum, I'm sure, T66061, and then you've got a flipper as the Ferrum Forge knife would have, but a button lock a la Protech. I just love the way Protech finishes their hardware. Just beautiful radial satin. Gorgeous. Pivot, button, everything. And the screws are very, very precise and strong. The hard anodized coating on the aluminum handle, super durable. Shows its age very well. This appears to be a PVD coated deep carry clip, right hand only. Notice that when I turn the knife sideways, not only is the aluminum handle milled to the same thickness as the pocket clip stock, therefore it is flush. The screws are also flat heads, and then the clip obviously chamfered or countersunk so that the screw heads are flush as well. Very nice work. No pant grabbing. You've got a super discreet lanyard hole that passes through these two holes, and I imagine you could get ungutted full strength paracord in there. You could certainly get gutted paracord or tether cord through. But if you're not a lanyard guy, as I am not, it doesn't really interrupt the design of the knife to have a lanyard hole, which is pretty cool. So something special about this button lock flipper, which is on caged ball bearings with hardened steel washers between the ball bearings and the aluminum handle. What's special is I've seen at least one other flipper from Protech, and the detent, if you can call it that, which is the blade pushing the button lock mechanism out of the way, was pretty weak. But this is snappy, guys. It's really snappy, kind of hard to describe. Almost feels like a titanium frame lock with a good detent. It's not overly strong, but I'm going to try to misfire here. And I really can't. Can't misfire it. That's pretty cool. Now if you fling the blade back, as you just saw, sometimes it might bounce off the closed stop pin, and the detent will allow it to. Let me see. See, it did it there. No, it didn't. I'm going to fling it in really hard. But anyway, sometimes it'll bounce off the stop pin and stop about there. But yeah, that's just a matter of getting your rhythm down, I think. So a really, really cool mechanism. A much more fun-friendly mechanism than a titanium frame lock with a ball bearing flipper, I think. And did you see that? You can fling it open with the button as well, if you don't feel like flipping. Yeah. The fun factor is superb. The lock mechanism is proven and strong. And the durability of the pivot should be great because you got hardened steel washers backing up those ball bearings against the aluminum. How cool is that? Oh, by the way, did you take a look at that blade? Look at that, would you? Beautiful stone wash on 3 9/16 inches of CPM 20 CV. Good job, Protech. Branching out a little bit. I've seen them run a couple knives in S35 VN. Now we got some 20 CV. Very high saber ground drop point, elegant drawn swedge that's probably cut with a CNC, but it looks like a drawn swedge, just nice and elegant, broad. 120 thousandths thick stock. By the way, that aluminum handle is 4 5/8, so pretty good handle to blade ratio on this knife. That high saber grind gives us not an overly thin, but manageably thin dimension behind the edge. Measuring back here, I got about 26 or 7 thousandths. Through the belly, which oddly, the thickest point seems to be right here, is about 33, and then at the tip, about 31 or 32. Not unusual. Still should avail you the chance to get pretty consistent bevel width, even using a consistent angle sharpener like the Edge Pro. By the way, zero blade play and perfect blade centering to go along with the perfect flipping action in the detent. Nicely done. Okay, how is it in hand? Better grab with my right hand since sadly it's right hand only. Guys, please, mass drop or drop. Talk to these guys. Get me another. I know some of the other Ferrum Forge knives, like the Crux, give you an option for a left-hand carry. I know the milled pocket and the 2 holes over here would interrupt the flow of that handle, but oh, you could put a fill tab in there if you wanted. I'm a lefty. I'd really like to keep this one. So anyway, ergonomically, you got a very deep index finger groove, great handle shape, reminiscent sort of the Kershaw Skyline. So in the saber grip, it's absolutely awesome. The forward finger choil is just big enough for my index finger. I wear a large size glove. If you have wiener fingers, cocktail wiener fingers, it might be a little small for you. If you go to the reverse grip, absolute money. And then the draw cut grip, very, very nice. And then the hammer grip, if you're back here, it's good. And if you're forward, still pretty doggone good. The flipper tab kind of gets in my way there, but to be expected. I want to take you on a quick little flyover of the handle just so you can see the machining quality and the precision. Some pretty wide chamfers going around the edge of the knife, which I think aids in the ergonomics of the knife. No standoffs per se, but the aluminum handle butts up against each half at the contact points where the body hardware is. Looks like the body screws go into blind holes in the opposite side, so the show side is super clean. So all the ugliness is kind of going on the pile side or the show side for the lefty. Too bad that the Williamson's logo got put to the back side of the knife. The branding is, although they got 3 trademarks to get onto this knife, they did a good job. You got Protech USA here, and then you have drop on the blade on the offside, and then the Ferrum Forge design maker's mark there. Pretty cool. You guys know I'm a huge fan of Protech. I love the work of the Williamson brothers at Ferrum Forge. Many of their knives are very appealing to me. And I gotta give props to Drop. Granted, their subtly stated terms are a little bit leading to the reviewer. I got no problem with that. You know, if you're a company who's in the business of selling knives, and you realize that in this age you need social media exposure, yes, you're going to grease some reviewers. That's okay. And you guys as viewers and subscribers to review channels need to know which reviewers you can trust and which reviewers will say whatever knife companies want them to say to get free stuff. I think you know me. If you don't, stick around, you will. But guys, nothing but glowing praise for the Protech Ferrum Forge Drop Mordax. Super nicely made knife, aesthetically gorgeous, functional as heck. If you're a fan of Ferrum Forge and Protech, this is one you gotta buy. Now, what's available? This drop, I think, actually is live now as of the making of this video. They make this knife 10 different ways. Stonewashed blade, DLC coated blade, gray handle, black handle, blue handle, green handle, plain, and milled. And I'll throw some pictures up while I'm yapping some of those other options. And depending on the configuration of the knife that you get, cost could be added. Base price, I think for a gray handle stonewashed blade, is $240 in this drop, and then I think from $10 to $30 they could increase from there. So somewhere between like $240 and $270. Well worth it in my opinion. Absolutely well worth it. Better steel than you're usually used to seeing from Protech. Completely buttoned up mechanism. Super well designed deep carry clip. And that vaunted Protech construction. Great knife. That is all for this one, my friends. Grace to you and peace from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. And remember, the word is sharp.